The Land of Storybooks by Robert Louis Stevenson, 1850 to 1894. At evening, when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing, and do not play at anything. Now with my little gun I crawl, all in the dark along the wall, and follow round the forest track, away behind the sofa back. There in the night where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie, and play at books that I have read, till it is time to go to bed. These are the hills, these are the woods, these are my starry solitudes, and there the river by whose brink the roaring lions come to drink. I see the others far away, as if in firelit camp they lay, and I, like to an Indian scout, around their party prowled about. So when my nurse comes in for me, home I return across the sea, and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. Okay, this is a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson. He was a Scot from Edinburgh. He went to Edinburgh University. He was never very healthy, and people say that he probably had tuberculosis. He loved to travel, and he passed the last years of his life in Samoa. Sadly, he died very young at the age of 44. Now, this is one of Louis Stevenson's lovely poems about being a child, about the imagination of children, about how children live in a dream world. They see the world around them, but they don't live in the world of adults. They live in their own dream world of the stories that they've written and that they've read, and the stories that they invent. And this is the story of being at home in the evening, and he's with his parents, and his parents seem really boring. They don't play at anything, but he's playing at being a great white hunter, as being in Africa and watching the lions. He's playing at cowboys and Indians and being a scout and going through the jungle. And this is all just in his imagination, as he goes around the room where his parents are. At evening, when the lamp is lit, around the fire my parents sit. They sit at home and talk and sing, and do not play at anything. So it's evening, and it's dark outside. The lamp has been lit, and his parents are sitting there by the fire, and they're talking and they're singing, but they don't play. And I think the child is horrified that the parents don't play. They're not playing. Why are they not playing? My God, adults are so boring. Yeah. And then he leaves them in their world, and he goes into his own world of imagination. Now with my little gun I crawl, all in the dark along the wall, and follow round the forest track, away behind the sofa back. So now he's crawling on the floor, he's crawling along the wall, and clearly he's the great white hunter. He's got his gun, and he's crawling in the dark. He's going through the forest, and he's imagining that the place behind the sofa, the wall, this is all part of the forest and part of his hunt, and he's now in a different world. There in the night where none can spy, all in my hunter's camp I lie. So he's now in his hunter's camp, and it's night, and he's lying in his hunter's camp. I think maybe this is the back of the sofa again. And play at books that I have read till it is time to go to bed. And he imagines being in the books that he's read. He imagines participating in the stories that he has read, and he does this till he is called to go to bed. And this is fun. These are the hills, though these are the woods, these are my starry solitudes, and there the river by whose brink the roaring lions come to drink. So I think he's looking at the room. Maybe this piece of furniture is the hills, and there, that bit over there, those are the woods, and this is the starry solitude. This is the night looking up at the stars on the plain. And there the river by whose brink. So, and over there he sees the river, and on the edge of the river he sees the roaring lions coming to drink. So he's in Africa, and I think he's hunting the lions. And this is talking about the wonder of children's imagination, and we contrast this with what happens when we grow up and we seem to lose that imagination. I see the others far away, as if in firelit camp they lay. And he can see his parents, he can see the other people in the room, but it's like they're in the distance, they're in another world. They're sitting by the fire, they're sitting in their own hunting camp. And I, like to an Indian scout, around their party prowled about. And now he's an Indian, and he's scouting out the area, and he's going round their hunting party, and he's looking at them, and he's seeing them. So he's now an Indian looking at what is there. So when my nurse comes in for me, home I return across the sea, and go to bed with backward looks at my dear land of storybooks. And then finally the nurse comes for him, and she says, "It's time for bed, you've got to go to bed." And he comes back across the sea. So he comes back from the land of play, the land of imagination. He's been pulled out of this land of imagination, and he goes to bed. But his mind is still looking back and remembering his adventures in the land of storybooks. So his imagination is the land of storybooks, the land where his imagination creates the stories, or he participates in the things that he's read in his storybooks. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. The Land of Storybooks by Robert Louis Stevenson.